because my disabilities are not just math stuff. I have like working memory and processing speed issues and some spelling, sort of visual memory issues. But I'm also really smart. So when I'm sitting down to write an essay and I've got a million ideas and I see a million different things and how they're connected, and then I have to like put it on paper, I can't. And so it becomes this like struggle of having, you know, kind of a zillion ideas, but then when it actually comes to execution, I'm not that good.
But maybe you're being hard. I mean, how have you learned to navigate? Because I see you as like this really successful woman. You have a website. You write incredible emails to me. You're timely. Like I mean, heck, like if I made a checklist of everything that I would have ever hoped you could do, you added more boxes and checked them off.
I don't know. I mean, I think not to sound like a narcissist, but one of the interesting things that the psychologist told me when I was re-diagnosed at 16 with like the adult test is that there are some areas where I'm not actually quote unquote disabled, but I might be like more average at, but then in the areas that I'm above average in, it creates a sort of discrepancy where they can't quite connect, which can be a bit frustrating.
Absolutely. When you're able to, you know, think the way that you do, and then there's that like struggle around production and so forth. I imagine, I mean, I have my own experience and so forth, and I think that there's difficulties around that, but I imagine that, yeah, that's really difficult. And I wonder, like, how do you do as well as you do as an adult?
It's sort of do or die. Like there was a moment where I learned, so when I moved to France, basically I went there to assist a friend of mine to adjust to doing this job running the residency. I was just supposed to be there to support her, and she didn't end up clicking very well with that job. And I basically, I mean, she was fired, and a couple of days later, I went up to my soon-to-be boss, and I said, "Hey, I'll do the job. Like, I'll leave school and I'll come back and I'll do the job," because I was kind of already doing it. And I realized when I started working for him that within real life, there wasn't really time to let those things hinder me. It was like, either I get it done or I don't. And if I don't get it done, what are the consequences of that? And that isn't always the way to go about certain struggles. Like there were things I had to be clear with him that I could not do, like scheduling things. But it was this realization of like, you just have to get over it and figure it out, which sounds harsh, but was actually comforting to me. Just that like objective, hard line.
Yeah, like it sounds like things started to really matter. Like there were consequences, but you were also maybe doing something that you were excited about.
Yeah, and I was fully responsible for it myself. Like there was no buffer of like a grade or a teacher or a parent. It was like, I either have to do this or not.
How did you react to that at first?
It was hard. I had a really good boss though, who was patient with me with it all. But yeah, I mean, it was hard.
Okay, here you are, you know, a young woman, you're in college, there's an opportunity in France, you like it, it becomes available, you have the courage to say, I want this, I'll be right back, go back to the States, shut it down, education, come back to France, and then tell your boss like, oh, also I'm going to struggle with a couple things, but I just need a little support there, but I've got this, you know, like, let's unpack that because there's a lot there.
I don't know. My parents always encouraged me to go for it. I mean, a lot of people say you can't make real money with art. And it was like, this is the best opportunity I'm ever going to have to like try that. And if it doesn't work out, I can always go back to school. School's not going away. So might as well give it a shot.
I think that's a great frame of mind. You can always go backwards. You know, you can always go back to what you have. And when you
You
want
can't actually lose anything except maybe dignity, but only if you allow yourself to lose that dignity. So there wasn't really anything to lose.
yeah. No, you lessened your fear of failure. You know, when we think about like what we want like young kids to do, it's like we want them to be able to risk assess. Like, I could gain this. I'm putting this on the table. You know, is this worth this?
I don't think there actually really is failure.
Mm.
I think with the right mindset, every quote unquote failure is a learning experience.